Hi crafters, welcome to ScrapbookPal.com. This is Raquel from Paints and Glitter. Today coming along with the Simon Hurley Wild Coneflowers for Spellbinders. This is a 16-piece cutting die set and it does come as a collection. So here's the back of the packaging. You get to see that there are 3 separate flowers that you can create, and it does come together with a cascading dot 3D embossing folder. By the way, this collection also has a matching stencil, but this cascading embossing folder is beautiful because you can emboss graduated sizes of dots. So quite unique. I am going to be pairing this with the scallop and stitched edge oval dies, also from Spellbinders. And later on, you'll see the sentiment that I add is also from the same company. But let's start here. I'm going to be using the ovals that I have cut with the scallop and stitch edge oval die cut. I did cut 3 and end up using 2 at the end of the video for the card. But the neat thing about this folder is that if you would like to, you can also use certain portions of it. Now, I do like to mist my paper with a little bit of water. That's what you see me doing here before running this through the die cutting machine with the adapter plate if you're using the Spellbinders Platinum. And that way you can go ahead and emboss this paper and get that lovely texture without it cracking. And I am using 300 GSM or 110-pound cardstock. It's quite thick, so I'd like a nice substantial card. And that was the result. Now moving along, I'm using some thin brushes from Spellbinders, and my ink colors today are going to match the papers that I've cut out for these little blooms, and these are Spellbinders papers, which by the way, I highly recommend. So I'm starting off with the color Sauna, and what you're going to see me do is I'm using the medium-sized brush of this trio, and what I'm doing is aiming the ink toward the area in which the petals connect with the center of the bloom. And I am speeding up the video because this is going to be a little bit repetitive, but what I want you to know is that I am keeping those colors quite close to the center, and then I am fanning that color out. So I'm blending from the center to the outer or middle portion of each petal. And I'm doing that quite intentionally because what I'm doing here is actually creating a highlight with the base color of each bloom. So of course you could do this with white paper, but because I like this Spellbinders paper so much and it's 100-pound weight, it's quite substantial, it makes the die cuts look really professional when you're done using them. And coloring onto a die cut that's already colored paper to begin with makes the process a whole lot quicker and easier. So I'm repeating the same technique on every single little petal. And what you'll note is that each bloom has a set of 2, although some seem to be cut in half, but that's actually the design. So it's quite neat in my opinion. Now I'm going back with the second color, Tiki Torch. And this color is quite more orange than the other one I had applied. So what I'm doing is creating a bit of a shadow with this by intentionally applying this color more toward the edge of each petal and then going back with that medium brush that already had the sauna ink on it and blending that out. So I'll do a little bit of back and forth, but as you can see there, just to make sure that I don't end up with dots on each petal, that I am adding the darker, which is the Tiki Torch, toward one edge of each petal, and then going back with the sauna and applying that in a circular motion to make sure that I can blend these out really nicely. And I absolutely love doing this with die cuts. To me, this is the fun part of crafting, is adding any kind of ink, any kind of coloring whatsoever. And when it makes the results look very intentional and very nicely blended, I'm just so super happy to be able to do that with just a few inks. And you don't need to have all of the inks. Small range of colors is absolutely fine because again, you're compensating with the actual paper. So whichever color you don't have, in ink is the color of paper you could strive to use. And that's just a little tip there for you. Now, this ink is water reactive, and I do have a separate bottle in which I keep water with a little bit of alcohol. And I was showing you the bubbles there because I shake it up and that will just distribute the alcohol through the water. And I spray it into my hand and let the droplets fall onto the paper. Then with a kitchen towel, I can remove some of that ink and also get a little bit more of a blended effect. Now, the droplets are not going to be necessarily very noticeable, but it's just another little technique I thought I should show you. Now, here are the leaves in this die set. You do get three styles of leaves, and I did cut them out several times here, so two of each style I think I did. And I'm sorry, I do believe it's four different types of leaves, but here I'm speeding it up as well. And what I wanted to share here is that I am using a eucalyptus ink, and that's very close in color to the color green paper that I'm using. However, it's a bit deeper. So you can use this as a shadow, you can use it as an accent, however you like. If you want to only focus on the little veins of the leaves, you can do that as well. It's all personal preference, but I do like the depth that is added onto that paper with just that little gentle touch of ink there. And what I'll do is I'm also going to be applying ink onto these stems right below where the flower will be adhered onto that stem. And that's just in case a little bit of that shows, so that it also has a natural shadow, because the petals would hide that portion of the stem naturally and create a shadow. So once you're done completing the application of ink onto the stems and leaves, you can move on to the centers of the flowers. Now, I've also switched over to the smallest of the three little brushes from Spellbinders, and I'm applying the icing on the cake, which is this dark brown, onto the bottommost edge of these little centers. You're going to notice that there are two different sizes. So the die will cut two, and you do have to run it one more time if you wish to do the center for the third flower. So you do have to die cut these out more than once. And then there's this other little portion here, which is going to be the bottom edge. So I just lightly tapped a little bit of color on that, which I had cut out of a lighter brown. Now, what I chose to do is that I recently made a card with the Shiny New Day sentiments from Spellbinders. So I did pick one of those, and it is going to say, "This is going to be a great day." I just thought that that was such a pretty sentiment. Now, Simon Hurley did design some sentiments to go with that collection of the wild coneflowers, but I just opted for that different sentiment and use inks to just create a little shadow around it. Now, here are my layers all ready to go. So I decided that I would adhere these, and I did run out of my little tape adhesive, but I did supplement these layers with Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. And what I can tell you is that 3D embossing does create so many grooves in your paper that are quite taller than regular embossing. So it's good to have a really good quality adhesive. So I am using Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. It dries clear and it's long lasting. So if you want a true bond within your papers, you definitely want to use liquid adhesive. And I very highly recommend the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, which I use every single time that I craft. And you can tell I'm using the My Sweet Petunia applicator because it just makes life a whole lot easier. Now, in designing this, I decided after applying that layer that I wanted to add a cute little bow to my card. I just thought it would look so darling. So I did grab some seam binding that I happen to have in my stash, and it's super crinkly but so very pretty. The colors looked lovely together. So I simply attached a piece onto that one die cut using double-sided adhesive, and as you can tell, I'm backing that up with the liquid adhesive and layering my ovals together, which are going to go on the very front of my top folding 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. And I'm simply centering that first. And onto this, I will be applying all of the blooms. So there's 3 separate flowers. And what I did was to tuck them behind that ribbon. So I'm first deciding on the placement. And once I have the stems, then I can go ahead and apply the actual blooms. And as you can see there, they're simple pairs. The largest two go together, and you can fluff up those little petals if you choose to do so. But then you choose one of the centers to go right in the middle there, and then that little outer portion, which adds a bit of a highlight. I think it's quite pretty. And then I add my second bloom, kind of topsy-turvy, quite purposely so. I apply a little bit of pressure to that with just the tiniest little drop of adhesive. You don't need much because this paper is quite sturdy, and also because it's a smaller piece of die cut. So you don't want to overwhelm your papers with too much adhesive and have it seeping all over the place. But as you can tell there, these layer together, and these are the ones that, to me, it looks like they just got chopped in half, but once they're all assembled, it makes a lot of sense. Of course, if you've seen coneflowers, or we call them echinacea, of course, as well, that's one variety, then you'll know that the little cone in the center is quite visible. I happen to have some in my garden some years ago, and I thought it was quite a peculiar flower, but very beautiful indeed. So this is going to be the third little flower, and that's going to nestle there as well. And this one is actually going to overlap the other two. And I actually do like the way that that looks. So you can, of course, just use individual flowers on this card. You need not use all three, but why not, if you're cutting them and going through the trouble of coloring them and all of that, why not go ahead and make little bundles? I can just see this in all different types of colors, all different types of combinations. And by the way, today's combination of the oranges and blue are quite intentional because blue and orange are opposite on the color scale. So I did that so that it would stand out against that background. Now, here are our leaves. And what I'm doing here is selecting some key little areas into which you can add these. And one little thing I'll say about leaves is I've heard some people say they don't like to add leaves to their flowers, and I would say that you should definitely take advantage of any leaf on any flower die set. It's really going to make your blooms stand out. And of course, you could just decide how many. You can cut them in half if you'd like to. You can position them differently than the die set suggests. It's all up to you, but I do think it adds such beautiful detail. Now here, if you see my stems, I decided they were quite too long, so I took advantage of the edge of that oval to cut away each stem in the same shape as that oval, and now it looks like they were all intentionally placed exactly there in the center. And now I'm using some foam adhesive. Now, this foam tape is available from ScrapbookPal, of course, and it's wonderful because there's so much height to the center of this card that I could select exactly where to place the foam adhesive for my sentiment. As you can tell, I did end up cutting that in half and then supplementing that little sentiment with a little bit of liquid adhesive, and this helps complete my card quite easily. And I was going to center it initially, but then decided to move it over to the side, and this is because I'm going to be adding a bow with that same seam binding. So there you see I snuck a little bit more of that adhesive, and then using my pokey tool, I can remove the little liner that comes on it and then simply press. And here, moving a little bit quicker, of course, because this is not necessarily part of the card, but I just took the rest of the seam binding and created a double loop bow, and that's quite easy to do just with your fingers. You don't need any machines or anything. And then I'm adding this to the front of my card off to the left-hand side with a piece of foam adhesive that I have cut down, because that's another wonderful quality of these adhesives, is that there's always a glue that's perfect for a different medium, and in this case it's just a delicate little bow, but that little foam adhesive will be strong enough to hold that together. Now I cut down my bow because of course the tails are far too long for this card. And next, what I decided to do was to not ignore those beautiful scallops. So to highlight those, I went ahead and added a Nuvo crystal drop. This is in the color Buttermilk, and it does have a gloss finish, so they end up looking like little pearls almost. And that buttermilk is just such a soft, barely yellow color that I thought it would be nice and delicate and would not compete with everything else that's going on in the card. Just add a little bit of visual texture, which I absolutely love. So yes, I did add it to the entirety of that oval. And of course I could have done that before adding the flowers, but this is just how I craft. I think of things at the last minute. I adjust and I improvise. So here are some tweezers holding my bow so that it will not touch the drops as they dry. So I hope that that's something you can take away from my videos, if nothing else. But here I'm adding a little bit of highlight to the edges of my card base. And this was also an afterthought, but I thought it looked really pretty. And that is just with that color Sauna and that thin little brush. Off camera, I also added some visual texture with a sewing tool. It's called a sewing wheel or something like that. But I just ran that little wheel across the edges, and all it does is it makes it look as if it were stitched. Um, it's a barely there kind of stitching line, however. So I just like doing that to my cards every now and then. And what I'll show you is the pictures at the end, and of course on the blog where you can see all of those details. So here, a little bit of highlight will go a long way. So with a Nuvo gel pen in white, I am just barely touching some of the little areas of these little cones. However, I'm going to tap it with my finger because I don't want it to look white. And you'll see how I'm going to avoid that stark kind of polka dot look on the card, because a highlight is wonderful, but if it doesn't flow with the colors, then it can look off-putting. So what I did is I colored it. So here I'm just taking a Copic marker in a light color, and you can see the color, I believe it was an E31 and or E35. It's going to be one of those, and I'm sorry I'm not able to see it on the screen at the moment, but I'll have everything listed, of course, not only on the blog post but underneath this video, so that you can see how to use all of these supplies, how to easily grab them from scrapbookpal.com, of course. And here you see a little more detail. Now I'm just obsessed with detail on cards, so I just keep going and going and going, by the way. But to keep the video very easy to follow, then I just added a couple more little colors here, all in these neutral tan browns, and I'm just stippling that tip of that marker onto those petals because it adds some interest, and I love the results. I hope that you enjoy it as well. Of course, I invite you to like this video, to give it a thumbs up. It helps the analytics of the channel, and it also lets us know if you are enjoying the content. But if you have any questions, of course, leave them below and I'll be checking back in case you need any other tips or advice. And absolutely, we love reading your comments, and stop by the blog where you can also find out if there are any giveaways going on. And if you haven't yet subscribed to scrapbookpal.com, be sure to do so today. The entire design team will be bringing you so many different card ideas and samples that are so much fun creating, with beautiful supplies available. So I thank you so much for your time today, for spending some crafty time with me, and I hope that you can always be inspired and be blessed.